so giddy and a bit hard to visit. So, for the record, I'm gonna see. Good evening and welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Star Smart. Let's begin. The word media is derived from the word medium, signifying mode or carrier. Media is intended to reach and address a large target group or audience. The word was first used in respect of books and newspaper. Media indeed is the very source of mass communication. Media plays the most informative role in our society. It is the main concept of mass communication. It has various forms such as television, social media, radio, and so much more, through which we can get updated news about the world at our fingertips. In today's world, media becomes as essential as our daily needs. Media of today is playing an outstanding role in creating and shaping public opinion. Visual media becomes a very potential tool in informing the current news to the society, entertaining the people, and shaping our public opinion. Media is the sword arm of democracy. Media acts as a watchdog to protect public interest against negligent professional behaviors and create public awareness. Media helps in fighting against corruption, nepotism, cronyism, or institutional machinery and carrying out relentless campaigns against them. As Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation, ABC Amba TV hits 5 years on the airwaves, Undaunted ABC Amba News marks 1 year and counting. It's been daunting curve and demands consciousness and duty. ABC Amba TV patronizing Undaunted and other revolutionary programs to bring Ambazonia up to speed with all current happenings and doing justice to the idea of what media really is about, is proudly into the third month of its second year. On behalf of the ABC Amba TV board, patron, club, the interim government, under the visionary leadership of President Samuel Ikomi Sako, who is the mastermind behind ABC Amba TV, we are proud to make this announcement, knowing that Undaunted has been on your screen for 1 year and counting, unabated and uninterrupted, giving valuable truths, untold stories, educational and informative content, and being the platform to debunk the hypocrisy of agendas against the liberation of a repressed and marginalized Amazonia. which is why Saturday has been strategically chosen to be ABC Amba TV Day. As a matter of fact, you could call the rest of the week an ABC Amba week. That notwithstanding, as always, we have the informative full briefings of Undaunted tonight, starting with the prime headlines.
Right, for the prime headlines today, let's start with Joshua Orsi as he crowned chief of Ngolo village in Indian County. Colonial Republic of Cameroon military kills 6 civilians, injures many in Mamu, Ekona, Muyuka local government area. The ARFs in Bui bans Nizam cultural activities for being sidelined. Also tonight, the Amazonian Restoration Forces successfully carried out a surgical operation on the borderline between Amazonia and Douala in local government area. La Republic du Cameroon owes electricity bills accumulated for several years. And on the foreign scene, 24 countries interested in trading with the BRICS. Now let's get the news in detail.
Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal payments at abcambertv.com. Contact us today, info@abcambertv.com. Facebook ABC Ambazonia. You can call us on 124-048-68768, www.abcambertv.com.
The media greatly influences society. They inform people about what is happening. It permeates people's lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. The privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion. They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age and not with Undaunted ABC Amber News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The speed of the revolution and Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Franco-Cameroon colonizers, among other strategic moves, weaponized the media against Ambazonia for so long, and they continue to do so even today. The question would be, how much do the oppressed people of Ambazonia need to counter the media rage?
Indeed, how much more is required to stop the genocide? The carnage in Ambazonia didn't start today. In 1961, 1972, 1984, 1992, Ambazonians were slaughtered in huge numbers and help was not forthcoming. Why? Because the oppressor was the piper in the media.
The good news is we have what it takes to dictate the pace.
Right now, ABC Amber TV is taking advantage of the wonders of multimedia aggressively
to inform the misinformed and disinformed with Undaunted and other revolutionary programs bringing it to the news untold stories.
Most importantly, to win the media war by taking ABC Amber TV into every multimedia platform.
In a word, where the importance of storytelling can never be overemphasized, Amazonians has to tell her own story, not the other way round.
And like we say it always, Amazonia must narrate her story accurately. We can do this together, you know, right? You are just a click away. Visit our website at www.abcambertv.com, and the steps are quite simple.
With just a click on the website, you can become a club member with so many benefits.
You can also make a one-time donation, advertise and showcase your goods and services, at the marketplace on the website.
That was easy, right? You're welcome on board.
And thank you for opting for the winning team.
We the people, ABC Amba TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
ABC Amber TV just got the information that the first vice national chairman of the East Wales Social Democratic Front, SDF party, that is Joshua Osi Nambagi, who is of the Colonial Republic of Cameroon National Assembly, has been crowned Chief of Mardi Ngolo Village in Choko local government area in Jen County in the Atlantic Zone. The new third-class chief of Ngolo was officially presented to the public on Thursday, April 27th, in Mondemba local government area headquarters of Ngen County. ABC Amber TV source says Osi, who is also a member of parliament for the SCF, was supposed to have been crowned in 2021, but the ceremony was delayed due to insecurities. Other reports at the ABC Amber TV states that his late father, who was the designated chief of Choko, had refused to sit on the throne because of his religious beliefs, as he was pastor of the Presbyterian Church in the Cameroon, that's the PCC. He could not serve as a pastor and as a chief at the same time. Now, this prompted the notables and kingmakers of Choko to then designate Osi as heir to the throne, a decision that only materialized recently. All right, this is where we will begin the full briefings of Undaunted tonight. I have Star with me. How are you doing, Star?
Oh, very well, Oni. Well, Joshua Osi, who is also a business magnate in Douala, until now, will be functioning in 3 other capacities as a traditional ruler, a parliamentarian, and a party leader. ABC Amba TV notes here that His Majesty Joshua Osi got his ticket as MP, that is Member of Parliament, through La Republic du Cameroon's colonial economic capital, Douala, and does not even represent his Toko local government area or Ndian County, listed talk the list of Ambazonia in the colonial La Republic du Cameroon Parliament. He has yet to make any statement about his enthronement, and we anticipate that.
Well, ABC Amber TV gathered that Colonial La Republic du Cameroon military raided Mamu village, located a few kilometers away from Ekona in Muyuka local government area, Fanku County, on Monday, 1st of May. Now, that happened at about 8 a.m., killing at least 6 persons. Now, amongst those killed were famous CDC tax spam collector General Saddam and some of his men. ABC Amber TV sources gathered that the colonial military surprised all of them in a popular drinking spot as they were enjoying Labor Day.
Well, so apart from names above, other civilians were equally killed in the attack. And as we report, some victims are currently receiving treatment at the Boya Regional Hospital, and some are reported to be in critical condition. Mamu village has more often than not been targeted by the colonial La Republic du Cameroon's military since the genocidal war began 7 years ago, and many of its innocent denizens have lost their lives as a result of such colonial La Republic du Cameroon's military incursions. While Undaunted at the time of this report could not lay hands on images of this sad incident, but we hope to get that to you as soon as possible.
All right, moving on with more reports. Powers have changed hands in southern Cameroon's Amazonia, and even some few Amazonians are still to live with this reality. The occupational La Republic du Cameroon shadow is still visible in southern Cameroon. It doesn't mean that they are still in control of the affairs of the land. They are like the dying kicks of a horse, proving vivacity, but the die is cast. In a cultural event in Bowie County, precisely in the Nzim local government area, the Ambazonian Restoration Forces in that area offered to provide security during the festival, but the offer was turned down by the phone of Nzim in retaliation for the phone to know that they are the security gurus of the zone. The festival was banned by the boys. The question is, why did the phone turn down the security offer? Is this decision popular?
Well, the Amazonian Restoration Forces have banned any future cultural manifestation in Nzin, a locality in Bowie County of the Savannah zone of Amazonia. The move comes after village authorities sidelined Amba fighters in the just-ended cultural manifestation. Fighters of that area reportedly offered to provide security during the festival, but the offer was turned down by the Fon of Nzin. The ARFs have banned the display of masquerades in Nzin. They are very angry that the phone turned down their escort during the recent cultural festival. A source who opted not to be named disclosed this. Masquerades will henceforth, according to the information gathered, not be allowed at any cultural manifestation, funerals, and other celebrations in Nzin. Reports say the recent decision of those fighters adds to other unpopular activities in the area carried out against the same people they claim they want to protect.
All right, another baby was killed in a hospital in Yaoundé. Now, this is our next report. A family in Yaoundé has insisted that their young child was killed by medics at the Yaoundé Gynecology, Obstetrics, and Pediatrics Hospital on Wednesday evening. Now, this is where the baby died shortly after being administered treatment. Family members of the deceased child, who had been admitted to the hospital for malaria, staged a dramatic scene at the facility yesterday, clamoring for authorities to see that justice is done. In an amateur video, the family of the child could be seen lamenting and calling for justice. The mother said, "I left my baby while he was strong. It's 9 months of pain." A woman said to have been the child's mother could be seen lamenting in the video.
Well, a source also who is aware of the happenings told MMI after receiving treatment, the child had recovered perfectly and was having fun with his toys until the evening when doctors insisted on treating him a second time. Well, you've seen the video already, but we could see that again.
Histoire de quoi? Actionnez mon avion pour balancer 5 kidnappes. C'est une histoire de quoi? J'ai laissé mon bébé, il était bien important.
What is all this? Do a video. Let's send to Equinox. Keep on with the video. Let me see the person that will stop you.
Actionnez mon vidéo. Tu peux comme ça la porte maintenant. Oui, on doit voir le corps de l'enfant. On doit voir le corps de l'enfant. Ils ont coupé la veine sur le cou de l'enfant.
I left my nephew here yesterday. He was fine. We have to see the corpse of the child. They have cut a vein at the level of the child's neck.
C'est une histoire de quoi? Chaque jour on dit oh, putain gynéco. C'est une histoire de quoi? Cet enfant était bien porté. C'est une histoire de quoi? C'est une histoire de quoi?
The child was fine yesterday. I even called my sister today, and she told me the child is fine. What is it with the health facility every day? You have to do with an tone here. Yesterday, before attaining to the child, was a problem. It warranted negotiation before the child was injected yesterday.
On a tout le matériel, on achète les médicaments. Elles sont là, elles montent et descendent. On a tout donné.
So from that video, you see that even the child has a cut on the neck to show a little bit of foul play. And it's very unfortunate for her. You saw her reaction to the whole incident. According to our sources, a few minutes later, they announced to the family that the child had passed away. And when the parents examined the child, like you saw in the video, they realized the same cut on the throat. The source went on, at the moment, it is not known what exactly had been done to this little boy. The family, however, says they want the government to investigate their son's death and let justice be done.
Well, the incident comes a few weeks after a woman raised the alarm that her newborn had been stolen at birth at the Douala Lacantin Hospital. But she later withdrew her words. She says also a few days back, the government shut down a medical facility in the Central region for one of the hospital's health workers reportedly caused a man's death.
Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal payments at abcambertv.com. Contact us today. info@abcambertv.com. Facebook, ABC Ambazonia. You can call us on 124-048-68768, www.abcambertv.com.
All right, now this is a special announcement to the heads of department and branches of government. This is an invitation to ABC Amba TV Fundraising Day. And it reads, "Dear comrades, I'm writing this letter to invite all heads of departments and branches of the Ambazonian interim government to be a co-sponsor of the ABC Amba TV fundraising event on Saturday, the 6th of May, 2023. As leaders in the community, your involvement as a department with ABC Amba TV on their big day is an opportunity for your department to receive exposure on our national TV and to join other departments in our liberation movement to educate ABC Amba TV audiences in the diaspora and home front."
Oh, yes, such exposure would not only highlight your department's role in our movement, but may also in turn advertise your work, needs, and attract sponsorship in support of your department from well-wishers. So be part of this win-win event, 100% Ambazonians for ABC Amba TV. Well, the DFRM suggests each department could run a mini in-house fund drive within their department and present the amount collected as a donation from the department, and then strengthen your departmental partnership with ABC Amba TV. Now, this is from NIJO, SOSDFRM. Meanwhile, moving on to other reports. Reports reaching ABC Amba TV says La République du Cameroon colonial authorities have admitted that the Ambazonia Restoration Forces carried out a deadly attack near Douala in La République du Cameroon's economic capital, and this attack that took place early on Labor Day was the closest that brought the ARF to Douala since fighting broke out in 2017. The colonial authorities have admitted that at least 15 heavily armed Ambazonia Restoration Forces attacked their military post on Monday in Machoke, a farming village less than 40 kilometers west of Douala, killing at least 6 people and wounding many others without giving a figure.
Well, the colonial La République du Cameroon's government said it is yet to confirm the identities of victims, but the Amazonian Restoration Forces and villagers said they killed 5 La République du Cameroon colonial troops and a civilian. Speaking via a messaging app, Samuel Diodane Ivaha Dibuha, the Betibulu colonial governor of La République's littoral region, which includes Matuke and Douala, said he visited the injured in a military hospital on Monday night. The seemingly afflicted colonial governor Dubois said both the colonial La République du Cameroon military and denizens will not accept the Amazonian Restoration Forces extending attacks and disorder to Douala, an economic hub in Central Africa.
Well, he also said the colonial La République du Cameroon military's presence has been increased on the border between the neighboring French Cameroon and southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, where the fighters came from, adding that denizens have been mobilized to denounce suspected ARFs in their towns and villages. Well, Amba TV notes with satisfaction that it's the first time the ARFs have attacked so close to Douala, a seaport of about 4 million people that supplies 80% of imported goods for the landlord locked Central African Republic and Chad. But the ARFs have frequently has skirmishes with the colonial La Republic du Cameroon military in neighboring La Republic du Cameroon towns of Funban, Fombout, Galim, Mbouadar, and Dishang.
Well, observers of the Amazonian War of Independence are of the opinion that attacks on the economic hub would impact all of La Republic du Cameroon and the Central African CIMAC sub-region. ABC Amba TV, without fear or favor, announces here and now that the never-again generation of the Amazonian Restoration Forces have vowed to attack all military posts along the borders with French Cameroon regions and the colonial La Republic du Cameroon occupier military have admitted that valiant ARFs have attacked their positions in the French-speaking West region of La Republique du Cameroon at least 40 times since the conflict erupted.
All right, and more stories here. La Republique du Cameroon is fast running out of cash. The state coffers are getting empty while bank accounts of La Republique du Cameroon government ministers keep swelling. Embezzlement and other administrative vices have eaten deep into the fabric of the colonial La Republique du Cameroon system. Away from corruption, La Republique du Cameroon has deviated all resources to the war in southern Cameroon. La Republique du Cameroon is investing big in the purchases of armored cars of different qualities and guns to equip the military to fight their Amazonian fighters and probably continue the oppression of Amazonia. Now, with all this investment, the colonial La Republique du Cameroon military is still not having it easy in the hands of the Amazonian restoration fighters who are growing in experience and tactics as the day goes by.
Well, the colonial La Republique du Cameroon's government has an outstanding debt of 150 billion francs CFA in unpaid electricity bills to the country's lone power supply company, NEO. The bi-weekly newspaper, The Post, has reported. The newspaper adds that La Republique du Cameroon's government institutions and private companies owe NEO more than 200 billion francs CFA in electricity bills accumulated over several years. The company has also been unable to pay some of its technical workers, usually referred to as subcontractors. The subcontractors who constitute NEO's primary technical workforce recently notified the company they will be stopping work indefinitely starting from May 10th, that's in a few days. In a letter addressed to NEO, they claim the company owes them 150 billion francs CFA in unpaid wages. They are also protesting against what they termed the arbitrary suspension of workers by NEO.
NEO is yet to comment on the supposed strike action. Well, it is speculated that there could be widespread power cuts in the country if the subcontractors proceed with their indefinite strike as planned. This is because they constitute NEO's primary workforce. Well, they work as substations to repair damaged transmission lines, correct electrical faults, and aid in the transmission of electricity to other areas. Well, it's sad. Lots of debts neighboring La Republique du Cameroon would have to pay for power. Power is a basic commodity. Power is supposed to be basic for the people, but here they are.
All right, now let's go into this very intriguing report. Yesterday was World Press Freedom Day, an annual observance celebrated on May 3rd to raise awareness about the importance of freedom of press. It also aims to remind the government to uphold the right to freedom of expression and free press. This year marks the 30th anniversary of World Press Freedom Day. And this year in 2023, the theme for World Press Freedom Day is Shaping a Future of Rights, freedom of expression as a driver for all other human rights. According to UNESCO, the theme signifies the enabling element of freedom of expression to enjoy and protect all other human rights. The media landscape of a country is a determinant of the political system of that country. A democratically advanced country is known by the degree of press freedom journalists enjoy. And a bad government will always suppress the press in order not to be exposed. Let's take a look at what La Republique is in this equation.
Well, La Republique du Cameroon is ranked last among their 6 CIMAC countries. The 6 CIMAC countries are Chad, Central African Republic, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, and Gabon. Well, according to a statement by Reporters Without Borders. It is so with the press in La Republic du Cameroon because the regime is having a lot of skeleton in its cupboard. A more free press will expose the ills that the colonial regime of President Paul Biya will want to see the light of the day. Now, on the occasion of World Press Freedom Day, Reporters Without Borders on the 3rd of May 2023 released its Press Freedom Report.
Well, La Republic has dropped 20 places in the World Press Freedom Index in 1 year. From 118th place in 2022, Paul Biya's country is ranked 138 now out of 180 countries taken into account in the ranking at the beginning of 2023. The Reporters Without Borders report comes 2 months after the barbaric murder of Martin Izogo, head of radio station Amplitude FM. This act, which tarnishes La Republique du Cameroon's image in terms of press freedom, is not only the only one that explains this regression.
Reporters Without Borders denounces other practices that run counter to the freedom to communicate information in La Republique du Cameroon. The non-governmental organization lists 6 extractions recorded between the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. These abuses against journalists includes the conviction and detention of former CRTV Director General Amadou Vamweke as an evaluation criterion. The organization took into account journalists killed, imprisoned, because of their work as journalists. Not listed were journalists targeted by violence, detention, or imprisonment in connection with matters unrelated to their profession.
Well, the Reporters Without Borders ranks La Republique du Cameroon's lists among the 6 CIMAC countries: Chad, Central African Republic, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, and Gabon. On the African continent, South Africa ranks 1st and 25th in the world, Cape Verde the 33rd, Seychelles the 34th. The top 3 countries in the world are Norway, Ireland, and Denmark. North Korea is at the bottom of the scale, ranked as the most dangerous country in which to work as a journalist. The World Bank Group's executive directors on yesterday, selected Ajay Banga, former chief executive officer of MasterCard, as president.
In a statement on its website, the Britain's World Institution said Banga's 5-year term as president is slated to begin on the 2nd day of June 2023.
But who is Ajay Banga? Let's take a quick rundown. Ajay Pal Singh Banga, born on November 10, 1959, is an Indian-born American business executive. He is currently vice chairman at General Atlantic. He was executive chief of MasterCard after having previously served as president and chief executive officer CEO of the company from July 2010 until December 31st, 2020. He retired from this position on December 31st, 2021 to join General Atlantic, an American growth equity firm providing capital and strategic support for global growth companies. He is also the chairman of Netherlands-based investment holding company Exor and chairman of the public-private partnership for Central America with the U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris.
Why is he named the next World Bank president? Ajay Banga, a naturalized American, was nominated for the post by the US President Joe Biden in late February and was the sole contender to replace departing World Bank chief David Malpass, an economist and former US Treasury official who served in the Trump's administration. In the statement, the World Bank said its executive board looked forward to working with Banga on his evolution process as discussed at the April 2023 spring meetings. The bank also reaffirmed its readiness to work with Banga on all its ambitions and efforts aimed at tackling the toughest development challenges facing developing countries.
The World Bank told that Ajay Banga is a co-founder of the Cyber Readiness Institute and was vice chair of the Economic Club of New York. He was awarded the Foreign Policy Association Medal in 2012 and Padma Shri Award by the President of India in 2016, the Ellis Island Medal of Honor and the Business Council for International Understanding's Global Leadership Award in 2019, and the Distinguished Friends of Singapore Public Service Star in 2021 to further state his credibility.
As president of the World Bank Group, Banga would also serve as the chair of the board of executive directors of the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Banga would also be the ex-official chair of the board of directors of the International Development Association IDA, International Finance Corporation IFC, the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency IMRGA, and of the Administrative Council of the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes ICSID.
Well, in response to the selection of Ajay Banga as president of the World Bank for a 5-year term, beginning 2nd June, KT Maluf Bose, interim head of Oxfam International's Washington, D.C. office, said, "The true test of Ajay Banga starts now to reorient the World Bank to tackle the extreme inequality that robs billions of people of economic security and dignity. We need huge new investments in development, but we need them to be publicly led and purpose to lift people out of poverty, and we need guardrails around private finance that has run riot for too long."
Kati Maluf Bose further urged, he says, "Let us not doubt the bank can play a transformational role in getting the World Bank on the road to ending extreme poverty, but it needs serious reform. The evidence from country upon country and the bank's own analysis has shown how hundreds of millions of people could have been lifted out of poverty had we reduced inequality. The bank needs to set an ambitious and concrete goal to tackle the widening gap between the richest and the poor living in poverty. This is what a transformative agenda would look like for President Banga, one that should also build trust in the bank and genuinely serve the needs of communities in the global south."
Meanwhile, Biden congratulated Ajay Banga on his resounding approval to run the World Bank, which he described as one of humanity's most critical institutions to reduce poverty and expand prosperity around the globe. All voices are all on the positive and clamoring great competence in Ajay for their expectations. We hope that Ajay indeed lives up to these expectations and hopefully creates a positive shift in the world's dwindling economy. But until this happens, it can all only be high hopes.
Right now, away from Russia and Ukraine war stories, let's take a walk to the BRICS to see what's new there. Now, ahead of the BRICS summit in August, the currency ditching pops up again. The word seems like it will be taking a different dimension from August. Now, this is because 24 countries has indicated interest in accepting trading with the BRICS currency. The question is, if more countries ditch the dollar, how will the US fund its deficit?
A total of 24 countries are interested in accepting and trading with BRICS currency when it launches on the international stage. The group of developing countries is moving to bypass the US dollar to settle global trade. The dollar's dominance could weaken if the BRICS currency gains prominence, giving Eastern nations more financial power than the United States. South Africa's BRICS ambassador Anil Sukla said that 19 countries have shown their interest to join the alliance, reported Bloomberg. So Sukla confirmed that 13 countries have formally sent applications to join the BRICS alliance. He added that 5 other countries have informally requested to be a part of the bloc.
BRICS comprises of 5 countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Therefore, a total of 24 countries are participating to dethrone the US dollars from its global reserve status. The countries that have showed interest to join the BRICS alliance are Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Egypt, Bahrain, Indonesia, Algeria, and Iran. Also, 2 unnamed countries from East Africa and 1 from West Africa have sent their applications, according to the ambassador. The development shows that a handful of countries are interested to trade in the BRICS currency. The nations want to move away from the US dollar and end Americans' financial supremacy. The dollar comes with a risk of debt that could wreak havoc on local currencies if the US slips into recession.
If more countries ditch the dollar, the US will have no means to fund its deficit, making the dollar weak. This could make the soon-to-be-realized BRICS currency gain prominence in the new financial world order. If nations around the world settle for trade with the BRICS currency, the dollar's value could plummet. Therefore, the fate of the US dollars will be decided in the next BRICS summit.
All right, and with that report on the BRICS Summit, we end tonight Undaunted. But before we go, let's take a look at our major stories.
In tonight's Undaunted, we've brought to you Joshua Osi, who was crowned as chief of Ungolo village in Dian County. We also brought to you the Colonial Republic of Cameroon's military killing 6 civilians, injuring many in Mamu, Ekuna, Muyuka local government area. We also told you that Amba fighters in Buhi ban Nzin cultural activities for being sidelined.
Well, tonight we told you that the Amba Zonal Restoration Forces successfully carried out a surgical operation on the borderline between the Ambazonia and Douala. La Republic de Cameroon owes electricity bill accumulated for several years. And on the foreign scene, we told you that 24 countries are interested in trading with the BRICS. And that was it for tonight on Undaunted, bringing you the news on George Stories. On behalf of my co-anchor Stursmans and the entire Undaunted crew, we say thank you for tuning in.
We'll leave you with ABC Amba TV images. Good night and God bless you.